Hello guys, this is Angel and you're watching Angel's Way of Adventure. Now I'm gonna pour epoxy resin on the silicone mold. I'm just checking the true wire in it, if it is okay, like so. And now I'm going to put releasing powder on my mold. I'm just gonna brush it with the powder that I use. Sometimes I use baby powder or a flour or some old cornstarch. It will not stick to the mold because I'm using a silicone mold in it. I just brush it with that some sort of powder, and this just gonna tap it a little bit. Some of the powder will stick to the silicone mold. It will prevent the resin from sticking on my silicone mold, and it will protect the silicone mold from being damaged, because the epoxy resin, when it's dry and you don't put some powder in your mold, it will stick to the silicone and it will destroy your mold. Now I'm gonna put a through wire on my mold, just like so. There is a small gap like that. It will place perfectly the the through wire. And I made this clamp. It's just an angle bar with a flat bar in it, and then two shoulder bolt to make it slide. I just put it inside my silicone mold and then just tighten it, because I'm not using a typical clamp, because it will not clamp perfectly. That's why I made this clamp for my silicone mold. It's pretty easy to clamp, and I'm sure that there is no leak on my silicone mold by using this clamp. Now just gonna check if it is flat, but it is perfectly flat. Now I'm going to mix 2 parts epoxy. It is 1:2 parts epoxy. This is the resin. It means 2 parts of this epoxy resin. I'm using about 10 grams for my epoxy resin, because I need a 15 grams epoxy mixture for my small lures. About just 10 grams for the resin. And then about 5 grams for the hardener. It's okay to be above that. Just 0.2 grams will not affect the mixture. And now I'm gonna mix it using a very small rod, because when you use a bigger diameter rod, mostly the bubbles on the mixture will be bigger too, and then a lot of bubbles is going to mix on your epoxy resin mixture. I found out that when you are using a small diameter rod for mixing your epoxy resins, it will avoid the bubbles from getting on your mixture. Excuse me. Just gotta make sure to mix it well, and don't worry about the small bubbles that introduce into your mixture. How to remove it? Just very simple tricks. Use a hot water like that. I'm just gonna wait for about 5 minutes so that the bubbles will go on the surface of the mixture, because the heat from the water pushes the bubbles on the top. Now if I see the bubbles on the top, I'm just gonna pop it out using a lighter, and doing it about 1 to 2 times, it's good enough. You will see the mixture is going to be clear and bubble free. I don't use the vacuum for that, because vacuum sometimes took about 15 minutes just to suck all the bubbles from the mixture, and sometimes it overflow. This is a very simple tricks to remove the bubbles. And then when you see the bubbles on the top, just pop it again with the lighter. Now as you can see, it is very clear and bubble free. Now I'm gonna mix aluminite micro balloons. It's about 1/2 the volume of my mixture, not 1/2 weight, because the micro balloons, it is so light. Just 1/2 of the volume in it. And then I'm just gonna mix it well with the epoxy resin. Just make sure to mix it well. Don't worry about the bubbles that will introduce to your mixture. You're just gonna pop it again using the lighter and the hot water technique. I'm just making sure that it is mixed well, so that when I pour it on my mold, there is no dry micro balloons in it. Just make sure to mix it. Take your time in mixing it. Now if you're satisfied with your mixing, just put it again on the hot water, so that the bubbles from the mixture that is produced when you mixing it, it will go on the surface again. You will see it in just a few minutes. All of the bubbles will go to the surface, and just pop it up with the lighter, just like so. Now I'm satisfied with it. I'm gonna pour it on my mold, but I'm pouring it just a little by little, continuous. That make sure that it will uh, not block the way when you're pouring it, so that there is no uh, air gap inside. And if it is full, just wait a little bit or move it around, and then just put a lot and then move it, so that if there is a air trap inside, it will go out. And just making sure that there is no air inside by pushing my silicone mold. It will prevent the air that is trapped inside, or the bubbles, to go out. You can see there's a lot of resin, but eventually it will fit on that mold. I'm just gonna wait a little bit to see on the two end of that there is a vent for the air, and then I'm just gonna release the clamp, and as you can see that the resin go down, and then I'm just gonna pour it up and then release it again. See that the mixture is go down, it only means that you are very tight on the clamp, and then release it again. If you see that the resin is not going down anymore, it only means that you are on the right pressure on the clamp. Just gonna tighten it a little bit, and you can see on the air vent the mixture is go out. It only means that the resin is on that, and after 24 hours it is rock hard, solid. It is dry now. I'm just gonna demold it. Just gonna lose the two nuts, and then see if it is perfect. Yes, it is. Pretty. See, there is no bubbles on my lure. Just like that. Don't worry about the spool. It is easy to remove because it is hard, and it will just pop up. You can just pop it with your hand or use a scriber or cutter. Now for me it is okay. See, it only pop up. I'm gonna use a scriber just to remove all the spools. Just clean it a little bit, and the spool, just cut it off. Then a little bit of sanding, and it is perfect. Just like so. It's pretty easy to copy all the lures that you want, the lures that are effective on your arsenal, by using a silicone mold and a 2 parts epoxy. Now we're gonna weight it. It's about let's see, it's about 13.6, but if you add the split rings and the hook, it will be 15 grams approximately. So I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it helps you in your little DIY project. Like me, I always copy the lure that I want to use, and the only things that I need to do is paint it. No need for making it smooth because it's already smooth when you release it on the mold. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.